It's another gorgeous sunny winter day here, and we're going on an adventure. We're gonna start developing a little camp, an off-grid camp, and it'll be kind of like the first day going off-grid. It might be, in fact, it is a good opportunity to talk about the best place to go off-grid. No way! Oh! It's a question we've asked ourselves over the years many times, and you guys have asked, where's the best place to go off-grid? And after, well, this is our 12th year out here, and this is our second off-grid property, and I think we have a couple good ideas for you. If you're thinking about ditching the system, starting a homestead, moving to the woods, simplifying life, then join us. And let's see if we can figure out the best place to go off-grid. This place really is, it's almost like a little estate now. It's humble, but it's awesome, it's fabulous. And really, 12 years ago, this whole place, the house, the shop, the root cellar, the girl's tiny house, the fencing, the animals, the ice rink, all of it was in our imagination. We've developed all this from this. Dave, this is just like how our property looked before we did anything to it.
Yeah.
It was
exactly
just a forest, right?
Yeah. Actually, this feels more open.
Yeah, that's right. Our place looked more like this, eh?
Yeah.
Just like a thick wall of spruce.
It really took a lot of imagination.
And this particular spot, I love it. It's got that whole birch forest down there. We're gonna build a little camp right here. We're gonna start developing it just like we did our own property, actually. We'll start with the fire pit. And then we're gonna build some cool camp stuff. Gonna use some chainsaw skills. Might need Dave's help with that.
I think so.
Dave's got skills. Okay, let's build a camp.
Let's do it.
Rose, I think this is the spot. Right here.
Really?
Make a fire pit right in here, and we'll build some benches, some premium benches.
Okay.
We got this beautiful birch meadow down there. And right here, we got a nice high spot with a clearing, but we got shelter. A big spruce, a big spruce, a big spruce. Like when we first got to our place, we relied kind of heavily on natural shelter. Like if it's to start snowing or raining right now, these spruces are good enough. Like look underneath them. They're dry. In general, people want to know the best place to go off-grid. And here's my first thought. I think for our property, which is not the perfect property. Like if you look through the old homesteader books, on paper, it's not the perfect property. But maybe the single biggest reason why it's been awesome is because it was affordable. So for us, it made a huge difference. We could afford to buy that property without a mortgage. Even if you had some debt, is an order of magnitude difference in what we paid for this land versus what you could pay for a house. So when we bought this land, we'll tell you, it cost $40,000 Canadian. Like some people have credit card debt that big. And just to put it in context, we moved from a house that we sold for $325,000. It wasn't in the exact same area, but it was a similar region for pricing. And it had like a house and it was 10 acres and it was nice and everything. It was fabulous. But just like it was almost 10 times cheaper to buy this bare piece of land. And that's made a huge difference. It's the difference between two people working full time, like in town, or one person working full time. Or it's the difference of paying over 30 years or paying for 5 years and then having it be debt free. So that's the first one. Can you afford it?
This is like a natural hedgerow.
Yeah.
A single
hedgerow.
But you see how it bends over?
Yeah.
And then it starts to grow up.
But what could we do with this one right now?
Wow, it's a perfect place for a nice big tarp.
This is like a pre-made little
Yeah.
tent or like
They bring another
yeah.
that way and yeah.
Huh.
Somebody stepped on that tree
Oh, weird.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
20 years ago. Big club.
Yeah. That's a big thumper, all right. Cool.
Hey, this is looking good.
Okay, I think we're gonna harvest just one of these poplars right here. Oh, look at this.
Beauty.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, it's
Oh
beautiful.
man. We'll cut a couple benches, I think.
Yeah.
Are you cutting this or am I?
Doesn't matter.
It's a steel.
Oh, you better. At least you better start it.
Okay, I'll start, but if I'm out of line.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's cut and see what happens. This is just our first cut.
The first cut is the deepest.
Is that okay? Thank you. Wow. That's like I've cut way crookeder.
Yeah, no, you did really well.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, so now we need to do one more. That way we're gonna get like a slab. Yep. Rose, this is gonna be like your countertop in your little camp kitchen.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
The line, look at the line.
Yeah, it's very straight. Dave is a natural. Unbelievable, hey? Wow. This is gonna be one premium camp seat. Rose, that's your kitchen table.
I know.
Hey?
Beautiful.
We should just move out here again. Okay, let's build camp.
Let's do it.
Starting to shape up, hey?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? A little cleanup crew. And our bench is getting very close. It looks gorgeous. And look, we invented something. So I don't know much about building with logs, but Dave told me, he taught me something, and that is you need a scribe. So we just built a scribe with a little forked stick. And that is gonna help us scribe these logs. We wanna build a notch, so we need to cut out that so that it sits down and doesn't rock all over the place like this anymore. It'll be nice and solid. So let's see how this works. So this scribe is a set. I can't change it. So this is just the way it's gonna be. And I think that'll be just fine. Just fine for a log bench anyways. Trying to guesstimate the rest. And then there's another trick here that Dave taught me, and I'm gonna execute it perfectly. Okay, shovel.
A piece for
And
you.
a happy face for you. No! Come on. We'll finish that with hand tools. This notch here is okay. I think it's gonna work. But if you want to know more about this type of stuff, I am not the guy. But if this gets you excited, that's good, because it is exciting. You can do this on your own. Fits pretty good. We built one of these very, very early at our homestead. Now it's year 12, and they're still going strong. We got the 3 benches, and we've used them a lot. Okay, build mama a kitchen table, girls. Look at this kitchen, Rose. What do you think?
It's awesome.
Starting to turn into a cozy little camp. We got our spruce tree shelter and coat hooks. We got our fire. And we got our new bench. But you got it all covered with ash, Julia. Why'd you do that? But this thing will be around a while. The first best place to go off grid is the place that you can afford. Some place that would leave you with all sorts of time and money to do other things. Here's the other one. And this is maybe a little bit more traditional information, but like a place that has some sort of resources. Like a normal house in the suburbs is like, gives you the shelter you need, but it doesn't give anything else. If you can get a piece of property with timber, or with water, or with lots of sun, or believe it or not, like a lot of rocks, or a lot of clay, a lot of, like there's so many different resources you can have. So our property, for example, a lot of people would say, wow, it's not very good land. And traditionally, it's not great. The soil's not fabulous, but the soil's okay, and we can amend the soil. And the location's not great. Like we didn't have a road into it when we got it, but you can build a road. But our property anyways, it had timber on it. It had lots of clay. We actually used that for the straw bale walls. It had like a little creek, a seasonal creek, but we used that with the ram pump. And so we have water. Of course, it rains enough that we can use rainwater for our house. And so resources, some sort of property that can give you something, like can you grow something? And maybe not on your property even, but if your property can be in a location where you can access like crown land or public land, that's been huge for us. You can go berry picking all over the place, and you can collect firewood, and you can go find gravel or sand, and maybe it's a mile away. And if you have if you have public land or crown land, you know, it almost might as well be on your land because it's there for you to use. So that's the first one is a place you can afford. The second one is a place that has resources. And I think there's one more, but I'm about to eat a smoky, so we'll eat the smoky first. I think this is it. This is where we're gonna center the kitchen for the off-grid campout. That's 2 months away, and there's like plenty of snow still in the way, but I think this is an awesome location. Like we got this really nice open area, but we're right next to the kind of the thick timber. So we'll have campsites spread out for you guys, and then we'll have this one central area. We'll finish up these benches and have a big campfire, but then we'll have Rose's kitchen. So we'll add up maybe a couple more boards. Of course, we're gonna have like a pile of food here, so we're gonna have to have a robust kitchen. Where should we put your pizza oven?
Maybe right there.
Yeah, maybe just set back. We're gonna try and make what is it? It's a pizza oven, but it's like an earth pizza oven. Like the really, really simple ones that are just, clay and cob and sand, and they don't have a chimney or anything fancy. And we're gonna build one right here, and then we're gonna like cook and bake on it. Rose will be baking sourdough like all weekend. And we'll make pizzas, and we'll make a whole bunch of food in there. So this is it. It's the off-grid campout. If you haven't signed up, now's a great time. And now the third thing. This is the third and final thing. This is just our opinion. This is not like the gospel, right? But in our opinion, the first thing was you got to be able to afford it, like easily afford it. If you can't afford it, if you're gonna like tie yourselves up, I don't know.
It's not worth it.
Forget it. The second one is if you can get a piece of property with resources, and think outside the box here. Okay, the third thing is, I don't know, you guys are gonna love this or you're gonna hate it. But if you're looking for the best place to go off grid, the third rule is, in my opinion, you can go anywhere. Because in the last, like our first off-grid place was about 15 years ago. And man, solar was so expensive. And now it is 10 times cheaper. I mean, we do not have a great solar resources where we're at, but it works and it's sufficient and it's still by far the cheapest and most reliable option. You can have power anywhere, and you can also have communications anywhere. So we actually just got Elon's satellite. Thank you, Elon. And before that, like we've tried everything. We used to have old satellite internet, and we had, like a cell phone booster. And anyways, anywhere in the world you can be connected with internet now. So that means you can work and you can stay connected with friends and family. So you can actually go anywhere and put up solar and have communications. So the sky's the limit. Guys, you can go wherever you want. That's the truth. And even where we're at, we're distant from a lot of people, but we've done all sorts of different kinds of work. And we've earned money, working from a distance and working on computers and with the internet. But we've also worked labor and with machines for for people up in this area. Abigail's got a food truck, and once in a while she'll drive down to where the people are and sell the poutine and make some money. So you guys can find a way to earn some money any way you want. Did it sound like I'm preaching, or did I just get excited?
It sounds like you're excited.
I am excited because you guys can do this anywhere. Like, I want to do it everywhere all at once. And our place is awesome, but you know what? Other places are awesome too. And they have things we don't have, right?
Yeah.
There's just pros and cons to everything.
And some of the things that are pros about our property is we actually didn't know about them when we bought the property either. So,
Yeah.
you know.
We had no idea that we would be able to collect gallons and like 5, 10, 20 gallons of huckleberries.
No, I didn't even know what a
they're so
huckleberry
delicious.
was.
There's a lot of things you guys can do with time, right?
Yeah.
If you have some spare time and some spare money, as opposed to having it all wrapped up somewhere else, you can do a lot of stuff. Well, starting to look like a little homestead. This is just like what our place looked like, Rose, 12 years ago.
It didn't look this cleared.
Right, yeah, we've already opened it up more than our own place. But this is it. We start with a campfire.
Yeah.
And you start with a bench, and then you start with a board. And pretty soon you've got yourself a great big homestead.